Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the City Skylines Beginner's Guide. Today we are going to be working on a large import oil industry as well as a waterfront tourism district. And the reason we're going to be looking at these is because we are trying to figure out some easy ways to make more money for your city. And so this is one of the hardest things in this game, especially for a lot of new people. You may be kind of confused on how to start making more money. And one of the easiest ways to actually do that is to just make sure that you're budgeting your balances. And so if we go down to this economy tab, it pulls up this window that actually has a bunch of great information. So you have loans, budgets, taxes, but then you also have all these tabs down here as well. And so if you come in here, you can see that the bulk of our income right now is coming from residential taxes. And so you definitely want to make sure that your taxes are set at about 12 or 13. I normally set them about 12. And then you want to watch out for your overall expenses over here. So like medical tends to be really high, schooling tends to be really high. If you don't watch out, your transportation can become really high, and these are all weekly expenses. And so you always want your green to be positive over this, otherwise you will start to lose money. And so the reason we're looking at an import oil industry today is because through my experience, I have found that the industry's DLC is the easiest way to gain sustained income over a long period of time. And you can really boost up your income quite a bit to where it gets up to like 40 or 50,000 or 100,000 plus a week that you're generating an income. And so now there are a couple ways that you can cheese income, especially if you have the Park Life DLC. You can force people to go through just rows of gates, paying the $20 fee every time they go through. And there are some really fun ways to do that. I tend to not use cheese methods because you can also use, like, say if we did a bridge right here, we could charge people to use that bridge. Same with tolls. We can make our road coming into the city a toll, and then this road a toll as well. And it just helps you to generate a little bit more money. The tolls are a little more realistic of an approach. Charging to go across a bridge, a pedestrian bridge, I don't think is something that is very realistic. And so I tend not to do it, but they are things that you can do if you want to just generate some money really quickly. And so before we jump in, I did want to go over what we did in the last episode. So we built out this awesome kind of radial grid pattern neighborhood over here, and we had even expanded out this interchange. We'd worked on this interchange a little bit, and then we built out this diverging diamond, which a lot of people in the comments didn't like. And the reason I built this was because in vanilla, these are very challenging to make, but I did want to show that it is possible. It's just not super efficient, and it really comes down to these choke points. So with mods, I would be able to put lane restrictions on these. I'd be able to open these up so that these were much larger like they would be in real life. And I'd be able to do timed traffic lights so that the correct lanes were all going at the same time so that you didn't have this weird kind of crossover here. But it is intentional for these to be on the opposite side of the road. This is how diverging diamonds work. And so a couple of the comments that I'd gotten had mentioned providing access, and I honestly don't know why I didn't think about it. So what we're going to do first is actually jump into roads. And we are going to go into our small 2-unit 4-lane road that we got for free with the Plazas and Promenades update. And we are going to come all the way over here. And we're going to go out like right here. And then we're going to go up. Let's go ahead and bring it down to that smallest step though. So we're going to go up 3. And then we're going to come across. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to go down right there. And then let's go ahead and connect it up right there. And then I do want to provide access down here as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and curve this down just a smidge, go like this, and then curve this down and line it up. And the reason we're doing that is because we want people over here to start using this road. And this is really going to help to divide that traffic that's just crossing over. Like you can see all these cars are just trying to get over this, and with our 2 choke points is just kind of difficult. This should really help to divide up this traffic quite a bit. So now if we go into the info views and go down to our traffic routes, we should be able to click on this, and yeah, look at that. That is just crazy. So these are all cars that would have otherwise needed to cross at this point. And so we are still getting quite a bit of traffic here, but we really want to prioritize that traffic going on and off the highway rather than people just crossing over. And so this should really help out this area quite a bit. It just goes to show how small fixes like that can really go a long ways, because already if you look at this, like we still got some traffic coming through, but it's not as much. Like this is pretty free flow and we're not really having a lot of issues down here anymore. And so let's go ahead and jump into our build now that we did that. So what we're going to be doing is focusing on this area today and also this area. And so I did add in 2 new DLCs, and I added them in because we are going to be transitioning towards our downtown here soon. And so I added in the After Dark DLC, which is a great DLC. It adds in a ton of tourism buildings. If you go down to the districts and areas tab and you go into the commercial specializations, you now have the tourism specialization and the leisure specialization. And so you definitely want to be careful with these. Through my experience, I've found that these buildings tend to require a little more goods than traditional commercial buildings do. And so when I first started playing the game, I would just do mass zoning with these and do like entire areas that were all tourism specialization. And it would cause a ton of problems. I'd have just a ton of traffic. They would all have goods problems, and eventually some of them would start to go abandoned. And so you definitely want to be careful with that. We're going to be going over how I normally use them now. I just do smaller kind of zoning, a couple little hotels. I don't really get too crazy with it. And so the next DLC that I added is one that we already had because of the map, but one that we haven't been using. It is the Plazas and Promenades DLC. And the reason we're adding this is because I was just kind of itching to use it. It's our new DLC. I really enjoy it. And it's really going to help us to add a little more life to our cities. And so it really adds in a lot. If you come down to your districts and areas tab, you now have this paint pedestrian area or the erase pedestrian area. But then if you go into your specializations, you now have this commercial wall-to-wall, office wall-to-wall, and you have residential wall-to-wall. And those are fantastic buildings that were added in with the DLC that kind of morph together a lot of times. There are a bunch of different samples for the assets, and so they don't always match up perfectly, but they are great assets to use. And so a few other things that we did get, if we go into the Parks and Plazas tab, we now have this pedestrian areas tab that will unlock once we start placing down a pedestrian area. And then we have this pedestrian area plazas, which are all the plazas that you gain. You do unlock these as you upgrade the levels a little bit. I don't know if we're going to be touching on that too much today. But I think on the next episode we will, as we start building into our downtown. We did also get some dedicated bus only lanes, which is fantastic. We can start doing some expressways or bus rapid transit systems. And so there's really a lot of fun stuff that we can do, and I'm really excited about this. So we're going to do a small tourism area and then start wrapping this around and building into this area. So let's go ahead and jump into our industry area first, since our industry demand is just crazy right now. So if we come to our medium-sized roads, let's go ahead. I want to create a road that's going to provide some good access through here. So what I'm going to do is I want to come straight. So we will go straight, and then let's go ahead and go into that freeform tool. And I want to curve this down and then come down here and connect it up. And I don't know if I really want that to be that close to that, but you know what, let's go ahead and look at that. So it's actually not bad. I do think we want to move this over just a smidge though. So if we go like that and then redraw this in, yeah, I think that's going to work out a lot better. So the reason we're doing this is because we want to kind of divide up the traffic. Whenever you're dealing with industrial areas, traffic is a really big concern, as we can kind of see with our already troublesome interchange over here. And so we want to try to be pragmatic about this. We want to think ahead. And so now let's go ahead and we're going to grab that 2-unit 4-lane road, and we are going to connect it up to this other road. So we're going to come down here, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it a little further out so that I can curve it into that road. I'm going to curve this in, go like that. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here, curve it in, and then I want to extend this out now. So if we go straight, let's go ahead and see. So it looks like maybe just a little bit over. Yeah, if we go like that, perfect. And so now we have created through access with this road, which is closest to our highway interchange. And so this is going to be some great access we are creating right here. I do want to then bring this up, and then we're going to go like that. We're going to do the same thing here, bring this up, go like this, and then let's go ahead and curve those ones in as well. So we'll curve this in, and then let's go ahead and curve this one in. And so this is already looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and jump into our districts and areas now. We're going to go to our district painting tool. Let's go ahead and paint over a regular district because I want to do some industrial specialization in here as well. We're going to be kind of mixing up some buildings, making it look fun. So then now let's go into our paint industry area, and we are going to paint this all the way around. Now that we have that, what we can do is go into our garbage and industries tab and go all the way over to oil. And so one of the cool things with this DLC that a lot of people don't often know, especially if you're new, you can, let's go ahead and place this down first. You can import oil. And so we unlocked level 1. We got the small oil pump, the oil sludge pyrolysis plant, and the small crude oil tank, which is what we're going to be using to import. So if you find yourself, if we go into info views and go down to natural resources, if you find yourself in an area where you really don't have a lot of the desired resource, so like say, so oil, we have oil down here near our amusement park, and we have oil up here. Because this is so close to this residential area, it would be fair to assume that these residents would petition against any sort of oil drilling or anything like that. You'd probably have environmentalists over here as well, since you have a large natural lake right here. And so the alternative is that you can import, and so you definitely want to be careful with it. We're going to go over a couple strategies on how to best optimize it. So now that we have our main building, let's go ahead and go in here. We know we don't need any oil pumps since we don't have any oil, but we definitely need some of these pyrolysis plants. So let's come in here, and we're going to grab one right there, and we're going to skip about 4 each time. We're going to go like that. Then we're going to go ahead and copy it on the other side. We're going to go like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing right here, skipping 4 each time. We're going to go all the way down, and we could even go one more. So if we go like this, go like that, go like this, go like that. And the reason we're leaving 4 in there is because I want to be able to put in the workers' barracks, because I think that they just blend in really well in between those buildings. They kind of make it look more industrious. And so now let's come down here. We're going to go ahead and fill all the water pipes real quick. Okay, and so water pipes in. Let's make sure that we got some power too. We do, so we got a power line right here. And so now what we need to do is go ahead and start importing. So if we use this small crude oil tank farm, we want this to be in an area that's going to be easily accessible. So we're going to go ahead and put this right there. And then we're going to go ahead and skip, let's go right here. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Oh, it looks like we're just a little too short. So let's go ahead and widen this up just a bit, and then we can come back and fix that in a little bit. So we'll go like this. I think 4 is probably good for right now. And then let's jump in here, and you have this storage mode. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on fill. And what this is going to do is tell the game that we want to fill these up any means possible. So if we're not actually drilling for oil, it will send out calls to have it shipped in. And so that's really what we want to do here. So we're going to go ahead and connect this up now. Let's make sure that they have water as well. They don't. So let's go ahead and follow this down. All right, so now that we got that, what I want to do is connect up a train line. So because we have our cargo terminal over here, what we want is to make sure that they have access. What we're going to do is create a train line that's going to branch off here, come down here, and then meet up with a station down here. So let's go ahead and grab our road. We will have this go up. Let's go ahead and turn on snapping, go up, and then let's go ahead and bring it all the way down to this 4-way right here. Just because you really want to have some extra space just in case this starts to become a really busy interchange or really busy cargo terminal. So now it's coming to the cargo train terminal. Let's go ahead and place it all the way on the left because remember, we want to go right to left, and then let's actually upgrade that road to a 1-way. I got a little ahead of myself right there. So if we go ahead and upgrade this all the way down, make sure, yep, right to left. Now what we can do is go ahead and connect this up. So let's grab our train lines. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm literally just going to curve it, have it come up here, and then do a small little train interchange right here. All right, so what I did was created our train interchange right here with access to that other terminal, because one of the things that happens with these is if, say, a commercial building over here puts in a call for something in this industrial park, what'll happen is this truck will be dispatched and actually go to the train cargo terminal. The train will be pushed out, go all the way down to this train terminal now, and send out a truck and deliver those goods to the commercial building without having to send the truck all the way through your city. And so this is a really easy way to help manage traffic. So you do need to be careful with train traffic in your cities, especially when you're intermingling passenger traffic and cargo traffic. And so this may be something that we address later on because we have these dotted lines for our perimeter right now. We really can't do the best here. What I would have done is wrapped this a little bit longer and then put it in right there just to provide a little bit more space. That's really the key here. You want to try to provide as much space as you can in between these junctions, because what will happen is trains will stop and then they start to block these intersections. It just becomes a nightmare really fast. And so you can already see that we had a train coming from the other side, which is fantastic. So this is already going to start helping out our traffic quite a bit. So let's go ahead and click on these. So this one's already 37 full. This one's 77, 82, 72. So these are already filling up pretty quick. So now let's come down here. Let's choose one of our buildings and see how close we are to our next unlock. So we're actually really close, 300 out of 500. So let's jump into policies and let's click improved logistics and advanced automation. So improved logistics is increase the storage capacity and of extractors and processors by 20% and increases the upkeep cost by 10%. I definitely think that that is worth it. This one is a little bit less, so increase production output by 10%, increase building upkeep by 10%. Even though that is even, I still think it's worth it because you get that extra 10%, which can really go a long ways. So it does look like we're having a little bit of a crime symbol here. Let's go ahead and check out our services over here. So we have some big hospitals, we have a big police department, and a big fire department, but we don't have anything over here. So I think this would actually be smart for us to get on this road. So let's go ahead, let's place them in here. No, I don't want them to be in our industrial area. Let's place them all right here. So we're going to do our clinic, police station, and fire department all right there. And this is really going to help. You can already see all the upgrading, the happy icons People are very excited, but that should really help out this area quite a bit. And so now all we need to do is just wait for this to upgrade real fast. It should be pretty quick. All right, so that was pretty quick. We now have the petrochemical plant, the small oil drilling rig, the household plastic factory, the oil industry workers barracks, which is what we're going to do to place in between these. But then we have the crude oil storage cavern. And so now let's go ahead and start placing down some stuff. So let's come in here. We now have these crude oil storage caverns. I want to be able to put them in here, and it looks like I'm just one off. Of course I am, because I wanted to be able to place those right in the middle. So if I had Move It mod, I would definitely shift these over. So I think what I'm going to do is put those right there, and then I'll shift this one just over by 1, because I think that's all it required. Yeah, so now if we, of course it's too big now. So now we can grab this, bring it back, and then let's see. So if we, yeah, of course it's just too big. That's all right. We can always put something else in here to kind of fill up the space. That's really the key with industry areas, is you really want to find some stuff to just fill in the space, make it look a little bit better. So I think what we can do while we're over here, let's go ahead and grab our road, and we will extend this out. We'll come out like right here. Let's go ahead and turn on snapping, go right there, and let's go ahead and connect it up with the road just to kind of wrap that around a little bit. We can go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Looks like we're just a little too close right there. That's all right though. We can come off of this road. Okay, and there we go. So we have provided a little bit more access. Let's go ahead and keep that game on pause so we can keep those the oil industry going. And so now let's come in here. Let's go ahead and place these down. And so I want them to go like right here. Let's go ahead and go like that. And there we go. I think this makes it look so much better. And what we can actually do is flip these around, put them on the opposite side so that they're both on the same side. I think that would be good. Because then we can go into our districts and areas tab, go over to industrial specialization. This comes with the base game, so these are like your base industrial areas. Make sure that you use these. Whenever they're over the resource, they turn into extractors. Whenever they're not, they turn into processors. And so these do generate commercial zone goods for your areas, and they're really good to have. And so let's come down here, and I want to now fill these in with small little industrial areas, because it's going to help us get some filler buildings in there, like some tanks and small little businesses and stuff, make it look really cool. So we can actually kind of look at our first building, see what we get. Yeah, see, look at that. So it like really blends in with what we already got going on. I really like these. So they are like oil rigs, even though we're not over oil. For some reason, they still put those. So they are they are processing buildings. So let's go ahead and see if we got anything else. We don't at the moment, but let's go ahead and check out our unique factories, and then we do need to place down some warehouses. So we got the household plastics factory, but then we also got the clothing factory, but we need to start making plastic. Did we get the plastic plant? We did. So the petrochemical plant. So let's come down here. Let's go ahead and skip 4, and then let's skip 4 again. Well, it looks like we'll just have to do 3. Which is okay. So let's go ahead and come over here, and we're just going to fill in this space, and then let's go ahead and do one across the street as well. We don't want it off that main road. And remember, you want to place down quite a bit of these because you're importing oil, and so you definitely want to make sure that you are processing all that oil, because otherwise what will happen is they'll literally just resell the oil that you just imported, and that is something that you don't want to do. That is not a great use of your money. And so let's go ahead and fill these in now, put in our little barracks. Each one of these barracks increases your efficiency by 5%. So other than looking really good, this really helps out your oil area as well. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're still, what are these at? So 64 to 41. So we want them to basically be pulling from these as quickly as we are importing. So let's actually check out our industry area. So we want this middle section to be pretty much 0. So it's at 3 barrels. So what that means is we are pretty much turning all of the oil that we're importing into goods, which is fantastic. So we're getting 115 barrels of petroleum, and we're going to start pumping out that plastic here soon, which is great. So now let's come in here. Let's go ahead and fill this space in. We forgot to do a couple more of these. Let's turn this into a small little industrial area. Let's go do the same thing there. Let's go ahead and fill this in as well. We don't really want anything off this main road. But now let's go in here and place down that household plastics factory. So I want this to be in an area that's going to make sense. So maybe we will go ahead and get rid of this, and then let's grab our road and come back and then turn this way. You know what? I kind of want it to be level with that. So let's go ahead and bring this out just a little bit. And we can actually use the industrial roads as well, since they are a little less expensive. Oh, look at that. We already hit our next one. So large oil pump, toy factory, and the oil industry storage. We're really hitting those milestones quick. So now let's come up here. We're going to go short so that we can bring this out and line it up with that. So if we go like right there, and of course it doesn't really want to line up with that. That looks pretty good. And so now we can come in here and build out our other plant. So if we grab this, let's go ahead and turn it. Let's curve it like right here and connect that up. We've created a little space for us to put in this household plastics factory that's just going to make it look a little bit better. So if we go like that, and let's jump into our warehouses now. Let's go ahead and do a small warehouse right here. Let's go ahead and do this other warehouse right there as well. So now what we need is petroleum and plastics, and we don't have any of these already. So let's go ahead and do petroleum, and then let's go ahead and do plastics. And so we still want to get a couple more storage facilities. We wouldn't want to just rely on these ones. It does look like I need to do water over here real quick though. All right, and so this is already looking pretty good. So we can come in here now and let's fill up this little backspace with something. So if we go ahead and turn on snapping, come across, let's go ahead and just have it go straight. And then let's see about putting in some more buildings if we can. We should have gotten, so the waste oil refining plant we get at level 4. We could go ahead and do some of these. The problem is because they're so far in the back, it's going to end up generating a bunch of unnecessary traffic. So let's go ahead and place down a couple of these. We'll go like this. And then what we can do is come in here and fill these in. Let's go ahead and leave that empty off the backside. Let's see how this is looking. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. We have this little space right here that we could do something with. We could probably do another storage facility in there. Maybe we'll do one of these. It just helps to fill in the space, makes it look a little bit better. Because I still think we have the maintenance building that we need to put down too. Yeah, we give it level 4. Let's see how close we are to hitting level 4. So if we come in here, you can see we need to hit 4,500 and we're really gaining. We're producing a ton of stuff. And so this should actually be pretty quick. And we've already hit our workers requirement, which is only 550. And so you can kind of see we're already having a little bit of traffic issues over here. So what I want to do is actually upgrade this to a 6-lane road because this is really going to help guide traffic through this area a little bit better. And then let's get out of our road tools, go into the info pane, down to traffic routes, and make sure that we don't have any weird unnecessary lights in here. We don't. And so that should already help out quite a bit. After these storage facilities start to fill up a little bit more, the traffic definitely subsides a bit. Our biggest issue is all this traffic going left. In all my test builds, this is really where all the traffic starts to generate. But we'll go ahead and let this run for a minute. Go ahead and hit a level 4, and then I'll be right back with you guys. All right, so we have hit level 4 when we have gotten the waste oil refining plant, large oil drilling rig, oil industry maintenance building, large crude oil tank farm, and the petroleum refinery. We've really gotten a lot of awesome buildings on this one. So let's go ahead and jump in there. I want to get this maintenance building in somewhere, and it actually looks like where we put that is going to be our best spot. So I think we're going to move that. I think we're going to get rid of that. Wasted a ton of money on that, but if we go ahead and place that right there, let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, you know what? I think this is just a much better building right there. So let's go ahead and check out our other buildings now. So I know we got this waste oil refinery, so we definitely want to get some of these down. So if we go ahead and place one of these right there, and let's go ahead and go over 4. Let's go ahead and place one right here as well. I think that may be a little too tight right there, but let's go ahead and place down a couple of these smaller industrial buildings and see what it looks like. So these produce plastic or petroleum at a higher rate than these ones do. Once these get their deliveries, they are producing at 15,000. So that's crazy. That would even be better for us to just come through here and delete some of these as well. So we're going to delete those and then place a couple of these in there just because these are at a much higher rate, even though they look almost identical. So oil sludge pyrolysis, waste oil refining, they're literally the same building, just like flipped, though this one's got a couple more tanks in the front, and then this one's got this small little building. I love the details with this DLC though. So let's go ahead and look at what else we got. So we still got our little fence. We need to do some decorating. We got this large oil crude farm, which is great, and I think it looks a lot better than the other one too. So let's actually place it down just so that we can kind of look at it. So that one's got a ton of little pipes in it. You know, it's actually, I mean, it looks very similar to the other one. So I think we're actually going to get rid of that. And then let's see about our factories. So we can still do the clothing factory because we have the animal farm, but we actually can't do the petroleum refinery because we need petroleum, plastics, and metal. So let's go ahead and see about this clothing factory because I know this one's actually pretty big. So let's see if we can go ahead and put it right here on this corner. Let's go down to our small 2-unit 4-lane road, and we are going to go like right here. And then let's see if it fits in here. So it actually doesn't. We need to go out just a little bit more, like maybe 4 units. So if we come out like right there, and then let's see about how this looks. Looks pretty good. So let's grab our road now, and we're going to have this go in and go like this, and then let's see if it fits on there. Yeah, it does. Perfect. So this road just gives it a little bit of a more professional appearance. It's actually, we don't need to use that 4 lane for this one, so we're gonna go ahead and go like this. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks good. I like that a lot. That looks great. And so now what we need to do is go ahead and do a couple warehouses off the side. So let's see if they can fit in here. Let's look at the size first. So if we go in here, so it's actually a perfect fit. I kind of wish we had a little bit more space off there. So let's actually get rid of this road. And what we're going to do is bring this out just a little bit. We'll pause for a second. Let's grab our 4-lane road. I still do want this to be out here, but what I want it to do is kind of curve and provide a little more space. So we'll go like this, and then we will bring it up right here. And then that way what we can do is just have a little bit more space right there. Not a lot more, but just a little bit. We may still need to do a little bit more than that. I just would really prefer this to stay a connection right there. So if we go, yeah, you know what, that actually worked out perfectly. So if we grab this road, come out like right here, and then come this way. And then let's go ahead and curve it in. I think we can fit 2 warehouses in here, but it looks like it's going to be really tight. So we need to be just 1 more in. So if we go like that, I just move this out just 1. What we can do is now place these in here. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. We just need 2, and then we need to do our crops as well, because I believe it was crops. Yeah, crops. So we need to go in here, go into our agriculture. And we need to put a couple barns in here. So we will put a barn right there. Let's go ahead and we'll just do 1. We don't need 2. But then that way what we can do is grab this, have it go this way and connect up. And then let's go ahead and get rid of that. And then we can go back to our 4-unit road, connect it up right there. Look at that. I actually really like the look of that too. Having it bend like that makes it look really good. And I like that it kind of leaves room for those storage facilities. So let's go ahead and choose what we need for these. So we have animal products, crops, and plastics. So we got crops right there. We need to do animal products. And then we need to do plastics. So we'll go ahead and go like that. Perfect. And so we have a little bit of space in here to be able to do something. We could even leave that open if we wanted to, because I think we're pretty much at the end of our, so we still have this one, which I believe is another plastics factory. I think it's a bigger one though. Let's see how close we are to hitting that next unlock. So we're at about halfway, which isn't bad. We are making a good amount of money. That's 62,000, 40,000. So we're now bouncing around 40 to 50,000 a week, which is great. So maybe we'll let this run. We'll work on some other things and we'll be able to come back to this. So let's fix this real quick since our water is now all over the place. So we'll grab this, have it come down, connect up right there. And then let's go ahead and have this come across. And then let's go ahead and bring water up here as well. And so now we do need to work on this little interchange. So what I'm going to do is actually demolish all this. And we had to pause for a second, but we do want to keep it on pause for that oil industry. So let's go like that. And then what we're going to do is demolish the road going across because we want to have our bridge go up a little bit sooner. So if we turn on snapping, come off from right here and go up, and then go ahead and cross the freeway now, come up right here and then go down. Now what we can do is go ahead and just extend out our access here a little bit. So we're going to go into our highways tab. We're going to go to ramps. And what I want to do is extend it out a little bit further so that we can increase the gap in the middle so that if we have cars kind of lining up, we really don't have any sort of issues with it. So we will bring this out. Let's go ahead and go down 1, and then we will curve this, go down another one, and then have it dump in right there. Perfect. And so for this side, we're going to have to do the same thing, but we're going to need to kind of curve it around a little bit. So we'll go like this, and then we will begin to curve it this way, have it go down 1 more, and then have it follow the highway, and then connect up. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw on this other side real quick, basically doing the same thing. I'm going to go off from like right here. Okay, and so now we can jump into that upgrade tool, go ahead and flip these the correct direction. And then what we'll do is go into our 2-lane highway piece like we did before, basically upgrade all 4 of them with leaving the last little piece for a single lane so that they can merge at this point. And so now what we need to do is go ahead and create some access. So our biggest problem is people turning left off of this. So what I want to do is go ahead and grab this, and I want to branch off like right about here. And then what we're going to do is go straight, but we're going to go down. And the reason we're doing this is because we are going to curve it around and actually have it dump into that intersection over there. So if we go like this and then have this go like right here, what we should be able to do is demolish this poor little commercial building right there, but then have this just dump right in here. So if we go like that, how does that look? So it looks kind of steep on this end. Let's go ahead and make sure that this side doesn't look bad. So that actually doesn't look bad. But now what that's going to do is just provide these people with a way to kind of turn right. They're not going to have to cross over traffic. It should really help out quite a bit. So let's jump out of our roads, go into the info panel, go into traffic routes, make sure that we didn't get any weird stoplights in here. Yeah, we did. So let's go ahead and remove those. And let's let this run for a second. Okay, so after letting it run for a little while, we have most of the traffic jam solved, though you can still see there are some issues. A lot of this is just unavoidable with industry areas. Because we have this connection so close, it's creating kind of a backup over here. What we could do is make this a one-way going the opposite direction. So if we come in here, go ahead and upgrade this to a one-way going this way. What that's going to do is just force these people to go onto that next road. I did end up upgrading this to a 4 lane, and what that does is it just gives a dedicated turn lane, which I think is smart. One-ways are really easy ways to fix traffic in your cities, and it's kind of funny. This keeps going down, but then it just keeps going back up. It's kind of frustrating a little bit. Like our traffic keeps kind of fluctuating between 87 and 89. All right, so I let it run for a little while, and I did add in another little tunnel over here. I deleted a building so that people could have same side access here for people turning right. But then I turned these into one-ways, this whole road into a one-way, these two into runways, all going in so that anybody coming out is funneled to this back section. It just prevented people from having to cross over these roads. I also upgraded these to 6 lanes going all the way down, and now our traffic in this area is fantastic. So we are still fluctuating around the 88 to 89. We still do have a little bit of backups on these roads. It has to do with all those calls for importing oil. But I think this looks really good. You know, we definitely, we had a little bit of a traffic jam happening there for a while, but it looks good. And now we have also hit level 4 for our oil industry. So we have unlocked the naphtha cracker plant. Ooh, and this is actually kind of big. So this is a plastic plant. Let's see where we can fit some of these in. So if we come back here, let's go ahead and choose our industrial road since that's what we used for this. So we will go ahead and go to freeform, have this follow the road just a little bit, and then let's go ahead and have it go up. So if we go like that, you know what, that actually doesn't look that good. So if we go ahead and delete that, go back here, and then let's have this go straight. Yeah, if we go like right here and then connect this up, that should leave enough room for us to be able to put a couple of these in here. These are pretty hefty though. So if we go ahead and bring a road in, let's turn on snapping and bring this back, connect this up, go like this, and then let's go ahead and put one of these in there. And then let's look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. That is a beast of a building. That thing is huge. It does look like, so we need to put down some more warehouses apparently, because we are definitely getting some issues where there's not enough customers. And so normally what that means is you're producing too many products for your warehouse capacity. And so let's go ahead and place a couple of these down, and let's do petroleum and plastics. Yeah, we'll go like this. And then let's go ahead and leave these ones on empty. So these will be like our overflow ones. Yeah, you know, I think this is good because I think these are pretty full too. I think we have some back here as well. Yeah, petroleum plastics. Yeah, those are full. I do wish that this was a little bit, it's kind of taking up that whole space. Maybe we can do a small road in here to kind of clean it up, make it look a little bit better. All right, so I just went ahead and made a connection in there just to kind of break it up a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. We're not going to really get a ton of access through there, so it's more aesthetic than anything else. And then we still do have a little bit of space right here for us to maybe do some more industrial. I think that could be good. So if we go ahead and place down just a few of these, I don't want to get on that road, remember? And then let's go ahead and place a couple of these. Let's go like right there. Let's place one right there. I don't want to go back here. I think we're going to leave this space empty. So I still want to use some empty spaces to kind of clean it all up. But now I think that looks good. So we are making a ton of money from this. Let's go down to our economy tab and let's go over to industries. Yeah, we are, look at that. So 45,000 a week from unique factories now. We're making about 11,000. Look at that, almost 60,000. 10,000 a week from oil. And so this just goes to show that you don't need oil for the natural resource in order to run a successful oil industry. And so this is definitely something that you want to kind of think about a lot. I've used this quite a few times in my cities, and they really help to kind of boost your income quite a bit. And so now let's go ahead and move on. We will end up coming back through here and doing some more detailing after we are done. I do want to start working on this area, so let's go ahead and jump into our districts and areas tab. Let's go to our districts planning tool. And I want to do a couple things here. So we're going to paint this all in as its own district. And this will be like the waterfront district or something fun like that. So we'll go like this, go all the way down. Yeah, perfect. Nice. And then we did get a new metro station as well. So I think we're going to add one of those in. Let's actually remove this. So I want to do a regular park on the beach, but we're going to do a pedestrianized area up here. So I think we are going to envelope the pedestrian area across this whole area. We're going to go down here, connect this up. We're not going to get crazy with the pedestrian roads, but I definitely want to get a couple in there, especially in some of our commercial areas. So if we go like this, let's make sure we didn't get our entrance. We didn't. So now that is pretty good. And then let's go ahead and jump into our parks tool. Let's paint this up. We'll go like right there, and then let's come down and cover this whole beach area. Yeah, this is going to be great. We're really segmenting this off pretty good. So now let's go into, while we're in here, I want to do tourism specialization. So we will click that as tourism, but then I also want to do wall-to-wall office. I don't think we're going to do any residential in here, but I definitely want to get some office in there. So let's pause the game for a minute. We're going to delete our metro line since we got a new metro station with the Plazas and Promenades DLC. Let's come in here, grab our road, and I want to go probably about like right here. So we'll go off of the main road. We'll come off like right there, and then let's just go right here. I feel like this would be good. So if we actually just go like this and then connect that up, how does that look? And you know, that doesn't look bad. I was going for it to be straight here. I kind of wish it was curved, but I just don't think it's going to match up. So our new metro station, if we go into the metros tab, we got a couple of these. So we got the parallel underground metro station, which I think is really cool. You get the 2, but then you get the large underground metro station. These also have 2, but they're different directions. But then you get this above ground one, which I think is just great. I really like this asset a lot. It has little shops underneath. It has some really cool details. And so let's come in here and wrap our road around now. So if we come up here, have it go like right there, and connect that up. Nice. And so we do need to level this out just a bit. So if we come over here, let's go ahead and right click on that. Let's come all the way over here, level out like this whole section, because I want to build out an office park area. I want to do some parks. I really want to make this into like a nice shopping center. So now let's go ahead and connect up our metro line now. We'll go back into transport, grab our metro line, have this go straight, just a smidge. We'll go like right there, and then let's have it curve up and connect up. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to need to kind of finagle this one a little bit. Didn't really like this turn right here anyways. I felt like it was just a little too sharp. So if we grab that and just go this way and then curve it back and line it up with our station, and then we should be able to just go straight. Yeah, you know, that looks a little bit better. And so now we can unpause and wait for the lines to kind of figure themselves out. Once they go in the middle, then we'll be able to put in a new stop. It should be here pretty soon. So they just went. And so now we can grab our lines, create our 2 stops. And this is really going to help provide access over here because we only have a metro stop way over there. We didn't have one for over on this section. And so it's definitely kind of an oversight on my part, but now that we've added that in, it's really going to help out quite a bit. So I do want to use some pedestrian roads for this area. So if we go into our roads and go to this little walking guide pedestrian area, I want to use some of these, and it looks like maybe we need a service center first. Yeah, so if we go in here, let's place down our service center. So I want to probably put it like right here. Yeah, I feel like this would be good. So if we place that right there, and then let's go through and delete all these houses and a couple little offices we have right there. Because I think as we expand, we'll probably turn this whole thing into a service center. It fits pretty well. It's got the police station and the fire station right across the street from it. And so now we should be able to start using our roads. We can, nice. And so I want to use these small sandstone pedestrian street with trees. So let's go ahead and use this all the way around. We'll go like that. And while we're in here, let's go ahead and upgrade a couple roads. So I know I want to do this one. So we're going to go all the way down. And then I want to do one over here as well. So I think we're actually going to do this one. It does kind of hurt our access just a little bit, but it really increases the land value in the area quite a bit. It just makes it more walkable, especially this is more of like a residential area with some offices off of it. It would just be really nice to be off of that pedestrianized road. And over here, I actually think it fits in really well. It's got some offices over here, and you know what we could actually do? Let's come in here, and we're gonna get a little crazy with this. So if we go like this, let's go in here. We're gonna do wall-to-wall commercial, and we're gonna do wall-to-wall offices. It's a lot, so this actually might change quite a bit of our look. Let's kind of see, you know, we got a lot of offices over here too that are going to be affected. Let's see what it does. You know, that's kind of the fun with playing with new DLCs is just figuring out what we like. So now I want this road to kind of follow the monorail a little bit. So if we have this guide around and then come in here, yeah, there we go. And then I think we're going to do another one on the inside. So if we grab this and then dump in, it's going to allow us to create a nice little office space in here, which is really what I'm going for. And so, like I had said before, with industrial or with tourism and leisure, you definitely want to be careful with over zoning them. And so what I normally recommend is to do just a little bit. I think we're actually going to do a plaza in this section, because I think if we do small food truck, does that fit? So it does. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, you know, that actually looks pretty good. So it's a little area where food trucks can come maybe like once a week or twice a week and do like a little food truck festival. I actually like that. Kind of wish that this was a little more level, but that should have hooked up our power too. Yeah, it did. Perfect. And so now we have power over here, and we kind of see people are already using this stop. Oh yeah, quite a few people actually. That is great. So let's come over here and check out our new buildings now and see if they're coming in. Oh yeah, look at that. These are looking pretty cool. I like the details on these buildings. This is definitely, in terms of DLC assets, these are some of my favorite ones. So let's come back over here. So I want to do some offices here in the middle, but I want to be kind of mindful of it. So I want to do a couple little strings, but then we're going to skip some. And we'll probably leave that whole backside empty. Hey, you know, maybe we'll go the whole front side and leave the backside empty. Because I was thinking I want to do some walkways. So maybe we'll do like 2 so that we can do some walkways. And then we're going to do a couple bigger tourism buildings. So we're going to grab that. We're going to grab that. Let's come over here and do the same thing. We'll go like that. And then let's come down here. We're going to do one right there, and we'll do one in the middle, because I want to do some fences around and really turn it into a nice area. And so for this front side, I do want to have a little bit of zoning off of this as well. So I think I'm going to go like that so I can get some zoning there. And then what we'll do is go ahead and just go like this. And we'll have to just wait and see what kind of buildings come in, because I want some like bigger hotels, something that's going to really blend in with the area. And so now I'm going to remove just this little section in here, because I want to do some organic and local produce in here. So if we grab this and go ahead and just hit that little Butler square, what we can do is come in here and just do a little bit of zoning in here. And this is really going to create some fun little shopping areas in here for us. I think maybe we'll wait and see what comes in, and then we'll go back there and do some walkways and stuff, make it kind of clean it up a little bit. It does look like we need to do water over here real fast. All right, so we got some buildings coming in, and I really like this design, and this is really where it can get kind of tricky with this game. I tend to think, how can I design something that's going to look good, and it can sometimes become a little overwhelming. And so one of the easiest things you can do is try to use real-world inspiration from cities, either on Google Earth or if you search up images. And so one of the things I had looked at was office parks on Google Maps. And so the reason I looked at that is because I want to do a couple little plazas in here to make them look really good, kind of tie it all together. I'm going to put some fences in and just really make this whole area look a lot better. And so what I want to do now is go down to this landscaping tab, go down to our paths, and I want to do a path that is going to run parallel with this metro line. And the reason we're going to do that is because it's going to be visually pleasing, but it's also going to provide a little bit of a park space for here. So I want this to follow up and then connect up to that 4-way intersection right there, or 3-way intersection. And then we want to connect this one up as well, if I can get it, if we go like that. And then we want to have it go across now. So we'll go like this, and then we'll go ahead and do one over here as well. We'll connect it up just so that we can provide that much needed access. And so I think we will end up doing a park right here as well. I don't know if we're going to get to it on this episode though, because I really want to get this done. And we've really done a lot on this episode. Our industrial area is doing pretty good. We are definitely having some traffic issues. I did end up extending this out just a bit. I was kind of playing around with it. And then I changed a couple of the roads to 1-ways. I changed this back to 2-ways so that we could kind of divert traffic down here instead of having it all funnel across that back road. That's just one of the things, like if you're dealing with traffic, just start playing around with the roads, like 1-ways, stuff like that. And a lot of times you can just fix the problems. We actually got quite a few people walking around too. This is kind of crazy. For our first pedestrian area, we definitely have a lot of movement, a lot of people using our new station, which is fantastic. And so now what I want to do is start doing that detailing. So we are going to grab this path and we're going to connect it up right there. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side, connect it up. And now what I want to do is go into our fences, and I want to kind of block this off a little bit just to create a little space in here and make it look really good. And so we'll grab that, and then let's go ahead and go into the freeform tool. And we're going to have this kind of follow the pedestrian road all the way to that other path. So we'll go like this, and then now we will have this come down and then follow that same kind of pattern. We'll go up here, and then let's go ahead and have this follow the backside of these buildings all the way around. So we'll have this go right there. We'll have it come up here and connect up right there. Nice. And so now just by doing that, what we've done is created a separation here. It makes it look a little more realistic. And so let's come in and go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Okay, and so now that we got it fenced off, what we can do is jump into our trees. I don't want to just do these live oaks. I really want to make it look good. So we're going to come in here and probably do a couple of these purple ones. Go like this. Let's go ahead and do a couple back here as well. We'll go all the way down. And then let's go into our vegetation now and fill in some of these little brown spaces. And it already is looking a lot better. We still do have a little bit of a weird kind of thing happening on these sides, but there's really not a whole lot you can do until we get those buildings coming in. It definitely looks a little bit better. One of the things you can do though to just kind of clean up these edges a little bit more, just come in here. I'm going to do some of these young lindens in between the spaces just to make it look a little more landscaped, like it's intentional. This looks pretty good. I definitely wish that we did have a little bit more going on back here, but I really don't think we have too much that we can do in those terms, especially without mods. What we can do is just kind of fill these in. And that's really what it comes down to with detailing, is just kind of playing around with it, and you find yourself getting a little bit better the more that you do it. I know when I first started, detailing just seemed like this huge challenge, and it was something that I didn't really do as much because I felt like it was just going to be too much work for what I got out of it. And then once I started doing it, I realized that there was a lot of enjoyment in it, especially when you start building out really cool areas. And so I'm just using these live oaks to kind of cover up some of the spaces in here just to make it look a little bit better. You can kind of see it. I really wish it was all this green, but we have this kind of brownish color in there. And so now for these sections, what I would like to do is something similar, but I want to grab our fence, have it come back here, and then follow along. And I actually want to create something a little bit better than just a little garden area. So I think we will go into our paths and we're going to extend this out. And once we unlock the gazebos in our regular park, we'll really be able to do a little bit more here. We haven't unlocked them yet though. And so what I want to do is try to find some stuff to detail this area up. So I want to do a couple of these. So we'll go ahead and do one of these on this side since we seem to be having some issues with that. We'll go ahead and do one on this side as well. And we're going to just assume that this is all one big complex. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish up the detailing in this area real fast. All right, and so I finished up the detailing over here, and I didn't go too crazy. I decided to do benches with some bigger benches over here. I did the young lindens all the way around. I did some foliage around, and then I did a couple little bushes with some trees just to tie it all in together. So now we can assume that maybe these are all together. Maybe one developer built them all separate. So like these two look similar, but this one maybe looks a little older. And so now we'll try to do the same thing with these. So I thought we had a park here, but maybe we did, and I just accidentally deleted it. So I wanted to do this, this statue park, because it has those benches right at the end. I think that is just so cool. It does look like maybe it rolls off a little bit at the end. It does. So let's go ahead and flatten that out so that we can make it just a little bit safer. So if we grab this and just bring it out like right there, let's go ahead and check that out now. Yeah, that just looks a little bit better. And so that way what we can do is actually come in here and let's do something similar. So we'll do a couple little spaces and then we'll do a fence around just to make it a little bit safer. So we'll grab our pathway, we'll go up here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that bush right there. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to do some benches. I'm going to do a fence around the outside. And then I think I'm going to use some of these pergolas in here too to make it kind of tie in together. Okay, so I ended up going just a little bit crazier than I was initially planning. So I put in a statue right here with some benches around. I put in little lights with benches going down. I put another pergola right there. And then I did a pergola with a bench over here. And it actually looks like maybe I forgot a bench over on that other side, which would be kind of important. And so I really like the look. I did the purple trees. I did some bushes around with some tall grass back here with a fence going in the back just to kind of clean it up. And you know what? I think it really ties in the area really well. And so now for this area, what I want to do is just have some trees line this. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some tree linings around our metro area as well. And then I want to do some trees around the outside. I don't want to obstruct the view though, since that would really be the whole point of having like your office here or something. And so we'll probably just do some foliage and a couple little trees back here. But I want to leave this space open because on the next episode, we're going to be doing our park. And I want to be able to do a path kind of meandering down into that. Providing access up here. And so I'm going to go ahead and then jump into a detailing time lapse. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done. I'm going to come over here and do our industrial area as well. I'm going to do trees around. And then I was kind of looking at our freeway as well. We don't have any trees around it and it feels just very empty. We haven't really detailed our interstate at all. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and get that done too, just to kind of tie in our city together. And it really helps your city just look a little bit better. Our city is getting pretty big though. It's kind of crazy for us to be 7 episodes in and we're already this large. It's looking really good though. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that done real quick and I'll catch you guys on the other side. All right, so I have finished, and I actually did quite a few things. So I finished up this area, and I think this looks really good for a nice simple office park with some tourism. And this really helps to boost your overall tourism for the city. And so if we jump into the info views, we can see that with the After Dark DLC, we've actually gotten a new tab, and it is this tourism tab. And so this will give you a whole breakdown of your entire city based off of the attractiveness for tourists. And so the more attractive your city is, the more tourists will come and spend money, and thus the more tax revenue you will make and the more profitable your city will become. And so the biggest things for these are obviously the tourism and leisure specialization are purple, so they're very attractive. It's kind of funny. These are actually light green. It looks like the amusement park is dark green for attractiveness, but in terms of tourists, there are many over here and a ton over there as well. You can see even like libraries and stuff like that. Like these are parks. They all attract tourists. The biggest draw is unique buildings. Unique buildings tend to draw in a ton of tourists, especially as you get into some of the bigger ones or you get into the monuments and stuff, which we'll touch on later. And so this is definitely something that you want to incorporate into your cities. Driving tourism to your city is hugely beneficial, and there are a couple really good policies as well. So if we actually turn on the district and look into our anchor square, go to policies, we can go to city planning, we can go into services, and we can see, so recreational use is one that I typically use. I use this a little later in the game though. I don't tend to use this early on, like with us being smaller, because it does generate a ton of traffic. But I do also use, I believe it is, so city planning, yeah, so boost connections. So this will increase, so outside connection traffic capacity is increased by 20%, applies to boats, planes, trains, and private cars. And so this just allows much more people to enter your city. And so those are definitely things that you can look out for. Another really cool thing that came with the After Dark DLC was bikes and bike roads. And so now we have unlocked quite a few bike roads, as there's one small one, and I believe there's maybe a one-way small one as well. Is this a bike road? No, it's not. But then there's a medium one as well, and then there is a 6-lane one as well. And so these are really good to use in your cities. And so as you start building out bike roads, more and more people will start to utilize them. So if we come down here, we can see all these people traveling in the bike lane. Well, these are all people who would have otherwise driven. And so you can even go into your little statistics, go into city statistics, uncheck that, and go down to cyclists, I believe. Where is it? Yeah, cyclists right here. You can see that it has just boosted, and that's because we didn't have any cyclists before. It was with the After Dark DLC. Now all of a sudden people are biking, and so it is growing and growing. And so you really want to encourage that a lot. And with the paths, the regular path access is bike friendly as well. I did end up doing a path right here to connect up our industrial area, and then I did end up doing a path down here as well, just to provide that much needed access. And so I did end up doing trees all the way down here. I kind of stopped over here because we still have some space for future development, and I felt like it was just smarter for us to kind of leave that empty. I did end up doing trees all the way down here, and then I pretty much did bike roads. And so I did finally upgrade most of our dirt roads. We have a couple where it just wouldn't allow us to upgrade, like this one had a park on it. And so I think what I'm going to have to do is kind of play around with this to get the bike lane road in there. But I basically upgraded them all to these bike roads to try to encourage as many people as possible to start using them. I think in the next coming episodes, we will start to expand upon our broader area. I did upgrade some of these into bike roads, but I really want to get a pretty extensive bike network because we really want to encourage people. The more of any sort of transit options you build, the more people will utilize them. So if you start building more bike roads and bike routes and bike paths, more people will start to use them. And so this is actually something that happens in real life as well. If you start building more roads, more lanes, more highways, more people will drive. If you start providing more public transit, metro, tram, if you start building more bike lanes, bike roads, then people will start to utilize them more. And so this is something that you want to carry into this game. And so other than that, I did end up doing the detailing that I was saying. I detailed up this interchange right here. I did trees around the outside just to kind of fill in the spaces. I did end up leaving some spaces empty because of just future use. We really didn't know. There's still a lot of spaces that we haven't utilized yet. I did decorate up this whole thing. I felt like this was kind of like the centerpiece for our, highway city. I think it looks good. I did some more rocks over here and then just kind of some trees, these tall barrels to accentuate the road and kind of help to dampen that sound a little bit. And then I did these trees over here. I did some paths through here. And then I kind of decorated this one up as well with some tall barrels. And then I left these spaces empty over here for future use because we really have a lot of space to be able to expand. And I really do think eventually we're going to end up moving this because I really don't like this here. And I think as the city expands, they might start fighting to push the industrial area a little bit further out the city. So it's kind of funny. This thing has snapped again, so you've got to go in here and just right click. I don't know why that happens. I really wish that didn't happen. But I think this looks really good. Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are interested in another fantastic industry build, go ahead and check out the video on your screen. It was really fun. I built a huge trench for an ore mine, and it was probably my best ore build that I've ever done. So make sure you guys check it out.